Greetings to all tankers. Mand is with you, and today we will analyze in detail one of the most interesting and controversial representatives of the Soviet, now Russian branch of technology in War Thunder, the T-80U-E1. This tank, which appeared in the game not so long ago, caused a lot of controversy and discussion. And in this video, we will try to figure out what it is, what its strengths and weaknesses are, and how to use it as effectively as possible on the battlefield. History and introduction. Before we delve into the game characteristics, let's talk a little bit about the actual prototype. The T-80U-E1 is an upgraded T-80U main battle tank aimed at increasing firepower and situational awareness. Distinctive features include the installation of an FPGA thermal imager, which effectively detects targets in all weather conditions and at night, as well as an upgraded fire control system. In War Thunder, the T-80U-E1 represents the logical development of the T-80 line and occupies its place at the top of the USSR Armored Vehicle Research Tree of Russia. Technical specifications and features in the game. Armor protection. The T-80U-E1 has good combined armor. The hull's forehead is protected by composite armor with dynamic protection elements, Contact 5, which effectively resists cumulative and kinetic ammunition. The tower also has combined protection, but there are still vulnerabilities. It should be remembered that the Contact 5 works well against cumulative ammunition, but is less effective against powerful kinetic projectiles. Firepower. The T-80U-E1 is armed with a 125mm 2A46M1 smoothbore cannon, capable of firing a wide range of ammunition, including armor-piercing subcaliber shells with a detachable pallet, BOPs, and shaped projectiles. There are several types of BOPs available in the game, each with different armor penetration characteristics and tilt angle. There is also a 9mm1119 reflex-guided missile in the arsenal, which allows hitting targets at long distances. Mobility. The T-80U-E1 is equipped with a gas turbine engine, which provides excellent dynamics and maneuverability. The tank is able to quickly gain speed and overcome difficult terrain. However, a gas turbine engine has its drawbacks: high fuel consumption and sensitivity to damage. Thermal imager. The main advantage of the T-80U-E1 over many of its predecessors and competitors is the presence of a thermal imager. It makes it much easier to detect targets at night, in smoke, and in difficult weather conditions. The thermal imager gives a huge tactical advantage, allowing the first to see the enemy and open fire. Other features. Automatic loader provides high rate of fire. The presence of smoke grenade launchers allows you to create smoke screens for camouflage and retreat. Comparison with competitors. The T-80U-E1 competes with such tanks as the M1A2 Abrams, Leopard 2A5 Tacher 2A6, Challenger 2, and other high-level MBT. Each of these tanks has its own strengths and weaknesses. M1A2 Abrams. The Abrams has excellent armor protection for the frontal projection of the turret and hull, as well as a good rate of fire. However, it is inferior to the T-80U-E1 in mobility and maneuverability. In addition, the Abrams has large dimensions, which makes it more visible on the battlefield. Leopard 2A5 2A6. The Leopard 2A5-2A6 has an excellent cannon and accurate long-range shots. Armor protection is also at a high level. But the Leopard 2A5-2A6 is less maneuverable than the T-80U-E1. Challenger 2. Challenger 2 has one of the best armor defenses in the game, especially the frontal projection of the tower. However, it has a low rate of fire and slow mobility. Tactics of the game on the T-80U-E1. Using a thermal imager. Maximize the use of a thermal imager to detect targets in difficult conditions. This is your main trump card. Maneuverability and evasion. Due to its good mobility, the T-80U-E1 is excellent for maneuver warfare and flanking. Urban fighting. In urban environments, you need to be careful and avoid direct collisions. Use cover and surprise attacks. Caution in open terrain. In open terrain, the T-80U-E1 can become an easy target for long-range snipers. Use smoke screens and move between shelters. Teamwork. Like any other tank, the T-80U-E1 is most effective in a team. Support your allies and coordinate your actions. Choosing the right ammunition. It is important to choose the right type of ammunition depending on the type of enemy armor. BPS for hitting heavily armored targets, cumulative ammunition for hitting lightly armored targets, and ZSU. Vulnerabilities of the T-80U-E1. Lower frontal part, NLD. The NLD is one of the most vulnerable parts of the tank. Hitting the NLD often leads to damage to the transmission and immobilization of the tank. Commander's turret. The commander's turret is a relatively small but clearly visible vulnerable point. Hitting the commander's turret often leads to the defeat of the tank commander. Ammunition depot. Despite the automatic loader, the T-80U-E1 ammunition depot is still quite vulnerable. When the ammunition is detonated, the tank is destroyed instantly. Breach of the gun. Damage to the breach of the gun makes it impossible to fire. Tips for leveling up. First of all, you need to explore BOPs. It will significantly increase your firepower. Then you should focus on improving your mobility. This will allow you to maneuver more effectively on the battlefield. Improving body armor is also important. However, you should not give it priority attention. Advantages of the T-80U-E1. Excellent mobility and maneuverability. A powerful cannon. The presence of a thermal imager. High rate of fire due to automatic loader. Disadvantages of the T-80U-E1. Vulnerable lower frontal part. Not the best body armor compared to some competitors. High fuel consumption. The sensitivity of a gas turbine engine to damage. Conclusion and sentence. The T-80U-E1 is an excellent tank that can be very effective in the right hands. The presence of a thermal imager gives a huge advantage in combat, and good mobility allows you to quickly occupy advantageous positions and outflank the enemy. However, the T-80U-E1 has its drawbacks, which must be taken into account when playing. The main thing is to use your strengths and avoid your weaknesses. Is it worth pumping the T-80U-E1? Yes, if you like the dynamic gameplay and you know how to use a thermal imager, it's a great tank that can be a lot of fun. Final verdict. The T-80U-E1 receives from me 8 out of 10. It's a good tank, but not perfect. It requires skill and tactical thinking from the player. What do you think about the T-80U-E1? Write your opinions and tips in the comments. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you like this video. See you on the battlefields of War Thunder. Good luck on the battlefields!